different honey flavors, like alfalfa. That's the kind that I got from Reno. Avocado, blackberry is just awesome. Oh my God. I baked with that. I put that in tea. Clover honey is another very common one that most people are familiar with. Eucalyptus, fireweed. I was afraid to taste that. It comes from the Pacific Northwest, but it was really good.
It's kind of like wine, isn't it? It's just as involved.
It's a fruity, spicy, and sweet flavor, and it's light in color, kind of a water white. I actually tried it. I teamed it with an all-natural peanut butter on a piece of whole grain bread. It was really, it was pleasant. Fireweed, you would think, ooh, this is icky, but it wasn't. It was really tasty wood, tasty. Leatherwood, that's another darker amber color. It was okay. I tried all of these, actually, the ones I talk about. I dripped a small amount of this dark syrup. It was like maple syrup or molasses, sort of a mixture. And I dropped it over whole grain French bread from that we get here in the Sierras at Lake Tahoe. And I teamed it with a couple of pieces of sharp cheddar cheese. It was really something you'd want to serve your friends, kind of sophisticated. It was really good.
You mentioned in Honey Fights Fat, and I thought that was a provocative part of your book because I'm sure people relate to honey like agave almost, but it's not. Now, Mike and Stuart McKinns, authors of The Hibernation Diet, talk about how they believe fueling up your liver before bed with 1 or 2 teaspoons of honey will optimize fat-burning potential. They say during sleep, your body uses fat for energy during rest and recovery, and for this to occur, the liver must be adequately stocked with fuel reserves to get through the 8-hour fast. Do you accept that? What is your stance on that?
Well, I did include it in the book. Personally, I haven't done it for that reason. I believe that honey fights fat for a few different reasons. One, it boosts your energy, and that has been proven in studies with athletes, and that goes back to ancient times, where warriors would have honey that would give them long-lasting energy. I personally am a devoted swimmer, and I will take 1 teaspoon of honey sometimes before I swim, and it just gives me more energy. Plus, just 1 teaspoon is only 21 calories.
Now, wait a minute. That's of dark honey, right?
It doesn't matter. Any type of honey will give you more energy. It gives you that energetic, sweet boost.
But is any kind of honey only 21 calories a teaspoon?
Correct.
I never knew that.
Right. A lot of people don't. They'll say, oh, I stay away from honey because, it's fattening. But that's so funny because I'm little. I'm size 4, 120, 118 pounds, 5'5", and I've maintained this forever. And one reason, I'm not going to say it's just because of honey, but if you have a sweet tooth and you take 1 teaspoon of honey, you won't crave unhealthy sweet foods, pastries that have high fat and empty nutrition. Plus, back to giving you energy, then you'll burn calories. And I believe if you burn calories, you're fighting fat, you're boosting up your metabolism, so it helps you to stay lean. Plus, if you team it with vinegar, which is another fat burner, that's definitely a way to lose unwanted pounds and body fat. I include a 2-day honey vinegar diet created by a nutritionist, and it's awesome. If you want to just dump 5 pounds, unwanted pounds, as a jumpstart diet, if you have more weight to lose, or if you just have an extra, 5 or 6 pounds from the holidays, with the honey and vinegar diet, eating good, healthy fruits, vegetables, and lean protein along with the honey and vinegar together in water or tea, it is such an easy way to lose weight. It's guaranteed. It's just guaranteed to help you lose that unwanted weight, especially if you put it in green tea, which isn't the most flavorful tea,
right.
but also it's known as to be fat fighting as well. So then you have three things working for you: the honey, which can make it taste better; the vinegar, which can, kind of take that bite off the tartness of vinegar, apple cider vinegar, and green tea. And teaming it with eating these foods that I mentioned, like berries in the morning, maybe turkey, lean turkey or chicken for lunch with dark greens, leafy greens, and then for dinner, just fresh fish and vegetables and some berries, and then along with drinking 8 glasses of water a day and with tea. Or you could put the honey and the vinegar in the tea or the water to help boost your metabolism and burn fat. Again, you'll lose weight.
You also talked about how with granulated white sugar, it's 100% sucrose, but honey is made of glucose and fructose and has antibacterial properties in it that help keep tooth decay at bay. So even possibly switching out the sugar. A lot of people, even though they know sugar's bad, are still on massive amounts of sugar. You know that, right?
Right.
How long did your research take you before you wrote the book?
Well, the way it goes, I get the idea, I get the assignment, and I start the day I send the idea and I get a gut instinct it's going to be a go, I start my research. So that was back in March last year. And when was this released? Basically a year, 1 year for each book. It takes me about 7 months it takes me 3 months to write it, 3 months to 4 months to research it, and then when it comes back with edits, I'm still kind of in the research mode, adding little things here and there. So 1 year for each book that
That's
I do
great.
of the Healing Power series is about right. Even after I write the book, I still learn new things and add it when I'm promoting the books, but a year. But, even though the writing process and the research process for this book, The Healing Powers of Honey, took me 1 year, I do share many anecdotes back to when I was 5 years old, and in each chapter I have an intro anecdote as I grow up from 5 into grade school, into my teen years and adulthood until now, on how honey affected me and my life, and how, at 5 years old, I'm drawing a honeybee in kindergarten and having graham crackers, that does use honey, and then I kind of graduate as I get older and older and older into using honey in different ways, and I just find it it's very intriguing how I've grown with honey throughout the decades in my life. It's sort of like I give my memoirs of honey and the honeybee and how it's changed my life to now, where I feel like I'm really a sophisticated honey connoisseur, so to speak, kind of like with chocolate. With chocolate as a child, I was used to milk chocolate, but now I wouldn't touch that if you paid me. It's only dark chocolate infused with spices and herbs. I've become a chocolate snob. I've become a honey snob. But I have.
You chocolate snob and honey snob, you.
I have. And I just finished the latest Healing Powers book, The Healing Powers of Coffee. So you could imagine I'm a snob there too, big time. I'm grinding my beans every morning, and I'm getting beans. I've received beans from all over the world, and it's the same thing with honey. You just become more sophisticated with what it can do health-wise and with your palate. And you just can't go back to just one kind. You go to the better varietals.
I did not know that honey was considered an aphrodisiac.
That was a tough one. Do you have the book in front?
I do.
What page is that on? What page?
It's on 145. It says Honey Love.
Years. I think one reason why I think it adds energy, definitely, lackluster libido, finding your groove.
It's in the section on 145 on Honey Love also.
Right, you're right, but I'm looking at it first, the libido. If you have a kind of low libido, which can happen to almost anyone at any age, in your 20s, if you're in college, sex is the last thing on your mind, and in your 30s when you're pregnant or you're going through PMS, you may lack libido. But here I'm saying that the Honey RX to use to incorporate a small amount of royal jelly into your diet. Now, I received royal jelly, and I was kind of a chicken to use that.
What is it? Say what it is for us.
It's a really